This right here gonna be a cakewalk.
The first two updates for Tekken 8 were very minor. They were just focused on bugs, some glitches. The real balancing of the game has not yet started. Even though some things got buffed, like King, which is a head scratcher, the Flash got nerfed, which kind of rubbed a lot of Yoshi mains the wrong way. Like, we're sitting around looking like, what about Devil Jin? What about this? The whataboutism. The real balancing, regardless of all of that stuff, the real balancing hasn't started yet. The developers has been teasing this mysterious March/April update. This is when the game is really going to kick off. They're going to add Eddie into the game. They're going to do free story DLC, something that I meant to dedicate a video to, but I never got around to it. There is a handful of major crash issues plaguing all of PC. I have 10 screenshots here. You guys can just pause and read all of this stuff. And in short, to just summarize everything, the developers are fully aware of what's happening on PC and they're trying to get it under wraps. So you guys can pause and look at the developer's tweet if you want to see in details what they're saying about it. And I think they do give some tips on and advice on how to fix it or limit it. But yeah, a lot of stuff's going on. But in this video though, I want to talk about two news articles that is focusing on the future of Tekken 8, the update that is coming very rapidly. So the news articles we're going to be talking about in this video, it comes from MP First. It says Tekken 8 disconnection rate display fix planned for April, says Harada. It talks about combating pluggers. Just the headline alone, you can see that the update is planned for April. One of the quotes that I'll read from Harada, it says, generally, if a disconnection occurs, the disconnection rate increases. The mechanism of displaying the opponent's disconnection rate before a match, which allows the user to decline the match, is similar to Tekken 7. However, as of March 1st, we found a bug that causes the disconnection rate to not function accurately, and these issues are planned to be approved in April. Severe pluggers will start to be banned from March 2024 onwards. It's also noted that the issue of users physically unplugging the LAN cable cannot be prevented. With that said, strict measures ranging from temporary bans to permanent bans will be applied to reduce the persistence of pluggers for those whose disconnection reaches a certain threshold. We kindly ask for your patience until the ban enforcement begins. So he's not really awarding a win or a loss based on whose connection drops, but they're more so trying to make the disconnection rate in the game very accurate. And when that reaches a certain threshold, then they will ban that player and take action. One thing too that's kind of starting to bother me is how they keep bringing up how this also exists in other games as well. Other games people plug and disconnect and whatnot, but the thing is, it's not so aggressive, it's not so prominent. In Tekken, it's that's the main thing we talk about, and it's absurd how prominent it is within Tekken. And even if other games have it, it's very niche and it's not consuming everything is what I think they should look at. So the next news article here, this one is really interesting, and I hope this is something that they do because it has unlimited potential. The title of this news article says Tekken 8 free character DLC might be considered, says Harada. This is so interesting because, the Tekken shop is something that a lot of people hate, right? Spending money on skins and whatnot. But one of the questions that I asked in the past is, if they make a lot of money off the store with skins, will the DLC characters be balanced better? Because in Tekken 7, that's where they made all their money, pay to win DLC. But if you have a new cash cow, skins, you don't need to make your DLC as egregious, right? But they're taking it a step forward and saying, hey, if we make a lot of money, we can make our DLC free altogether. The quote from Harada says, characters are the most costly content to develop, but in terms of potential, we might consider further down the road. Please stay tuned for updates. For those of you who don't know, when he says characters are the most costly content, this is something he elaborated on in the past. In the past, he was talking about how expensive it is to make one stage in the game. And a lot of people don't believe the price he throws out, but he says one stage, this is back in Tekken 7, Tekken 8 may cost more, but he said one stage costs $400,000. When you think about it, it makes sense. They got to make all of these assets from scratch. They got to, like, create the physics of the stage. Do we want wall breaks, balcony breaks, music for the stage, or lighting? You have to pay people to do these things, but also you have to pay for the equipment and the tools and the assets necessarily to build it. That price can stack up very quickly, and Harada said for a character, it's even more. It's even more for a character, and for a guest character, not only are you building the character from scratch, voice, moves, abilities, nationality, fighting, like everything, but you're also working with another company and probably paying that company to allow you to use the game. So a free character is not some small thing, because there's a lot that they invest into that. And if they do decide to do one, let's say around like season 2 or season 3, something like that, right? Because it's not going to happen in season 1. But if they decide to do something like that, it just shows, it will show how successful the game is. Once again, with the whole store thing, how people were upset about the store and the prices and whatnot, it really does seem like they are trying to reinvest it back into the game. And given a free character, that's huge.